could have been somebody who had a hand in foul play or fraud or any number of different things. So on this, you're incorrect.
So you're telling me you can take the Bible to a court of law and basically prove it's real? Is that what you're telling me?
No, that's not what I said, Gary.
Oh, no,
what
no.
did I say?
I'm telling you, give me enough evidence that Jesus is real, because if you don't, sir, it's all fallacy. It's all
What's the
fugazi.
fallacy?
You
What's the
cannot
fallacy?
prove that a virgin had Jesus Christ, no matter how many eyewitnesses are written in a book that was written 2,500 years ago. Do you understand the insanity here, sir?
No.
You are basically acting like the leftists who say, yo, it's a miracle. Just believe me. There's eyewitnesses all over who believe in this. You have to take them at its word. The same way. Hold on,
what leftists
sir.
are saying this about evidence?
Way.
What are you talking about?
The leftists are telling you there's more than two genders, sir. It doesn't make sense. You provide no
What does that have to do
evidence.
with anything we're talking about?
It's very simple, because this mental illness that you guys have, believing that a virgin gave birth to Jesus Christ, where you know that's impossible. It is
first of
literally
all,
impossible.
first of all, Gary,
no, hold on, sir. It is literally impossible for a virgin to have a child.
That's
that
the
is
stupidest
not
thing I've ever
possible
heard. Of course,
unless
it's
you
not
have
possible.
artificial insemination.
It's not impossible for a virgin to have a child, bro.
No, it's
It's
not.
not impossible. What's the contradiction? For something to be impossible, it has to be a contradiction. What's the contradiction that a virgin can't have a child when you just admitted a virgin
some
can?
of those whores you talk to online tell you they're pregnant and they've never had sex, you're going to believe them?
There have been women that I've talked to who've been inseminated while they were virgins.
Artificial insemination, correct. But you have to have sex. You have to have
you don't have to have sex. You can get it out of a condom.
You have to have semen. Go inside.
Yeah, you have to have semen. That's true.
How is that possible without that process? How is that possible, sir?
Well, hang on. So let's take it step by step. So you have to start, when you say a thing is impossible, what you have to understand what you're saying is that somewhere in there is a contradiction. That's what would make it impossible. From your metric, though, this is not impossible. You're just saying it's improbable. That's fine. You can say it's improbable, or you're not convinced by the evidences which are put forward, even though, as far as a historic standard goes, there's good reason to believe that there's at least some kind of event around this which led to Jesus's credibility to begin with. That's why the credibility even exists in the first place.
There's no credibility there whatsoever.
So your idea, like the idea here, hang on, the idea here that you can make the claim, I'm not convinced by the evidence, is fair. The idea that you say there is no evidence is not fair. So that's what my argument to you would be. It's just, you can always say you're unconvinced by evidence. Anybody can say that. They can make up whatever standard they want. I don't even know what standard of evidence Gary would accept. Like what? I don't even know. But you can always say that you remain unconvinced by evidence, and that is, by the way, the atheist position. They just say they remain unconvinced by the evidence.
Because I don't believe in your fairy tales.
And that's fine. But you can't say there isn't any evidence. That's a different claim altogether.
Your fairy tales, I'm an atheist. I said I believe in Prime Creator. I do not believe in your interpretation.
Could the Prime Creator make a woman pregnant who was a virgin?
No, of course not, because he doesn't interfere. The Prime Creator never interferes, and it's not Christ is king, it's karma is king. Because you have to understand, the real God never interferes. He throws you in the deep end of the ocean into this evil planet, and he sees and he tests you all the time. Are you going to be a piece of shit just so you can have more money? Are you going to cheat on your girl just because you have some pussy right here? That's going to be tests. They're going to be right in front of you over and over. And guess what, sir? Once you die, then you're judged by your karma. And that's how it actually works.
And then where do you go?
What you reap is what you sow.
Spiritual guidance, or they're spiritually sick or things like that. It's not actually giving a karma base of like, if you do bad things will happen to you. That's not really what that means.
You don't believe that? If you do bad things,
that karma exists?
Yeah. No? Okay.
No.
So everything's according to the good Lord to you, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're a Christian, so you live everything according to the Bible, correct?
I live everything according to Christian ethics, yes.
Christian ethics. Okay, so would you agree that the type of person you are and the type of a life you have lived, would say a lot about how good of a Christian you are?
Well, I mean, sure. I think that Christian ethics is somewhat complex, but it's also overly simplified. And I'll give you the oversimplified version. So Christian ethics is taking a combination of virtues and duties, and then the teachings of Jesus Christ is combining them to the outlook of the follower of Jesus Christ, So we know what we ought to do, what we should not do, what forgiveness is, what forgiveness isn't, why you need church authority, normative authority to guide you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Christian ethics, and that's kind of my domain, that's kind of the purview of what that is. But each individual case for each individual person is somewhat different because Christianity exists in what's called pluralism. So, like, let me give you an example. Mm-hmm. If you lived in Japan, the way that you would honor your mother and father would be different than the way you lived in the United States, right? You would have to honor them differently based on the cultural customs.
Culture.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have. So that's what